That wasn't so bad, actually, for the first year back.
No, it really wasn't. I was expecting way worse.
Welcome back to a St. Patrick's free agency special. Special edition of the podcast. I'm your host, Marcus the Hammer Mary.
And I am your co-host, Skinny Domestic, our free agency recap. Well, what's happened so far, I guess it's still technically free agency. But
yeah,
for the most part,
big signings will be done.
Most of the stuff's happened. There's still some bigger names out there, but most of the stuff has been done. So basically what this episode's going to be is we're just going to break down each team, discuss kind of the big ones. Some we may not go into as others. Clearly some have bigger impacts than others, but so it might be a longer episode, who knows. But let's just get into it. I'm just going to go down the list. We're going to start with the AFC East, just based off of how this list is written. Buffalo Bills. So Josh Allen agreed to a new 6-year deal worth $330 million with $250 million guaranteed.
That's a honeymoon deal, man. That is a nice deal. To be honest, he should get more money than Dak. He should get more money than
he took a slight pay cut because he wanted to be able to have some money for other things. And I think one of his big things was wide receivers. They signed Josh Palmer to a 3-year, $36 million contract. So I like Palmer, but he's not anything special.
Not worth that.
Khalil Shakir gets a 4-year extension worth up to $60.2 million. He was his favorite target last year. Keon Coleman was up and coming, but
Shakir's legit, man. I really liked him. He was one of the bright spots at the receiver position for this Buffalo Bills offense, and he led the team probably in targets and receiving yards, I think. So he's a good player.
Then they went and signed Joey Bosa, a 1-year, $12.6 million deal with $12 million guaranteed. That one shocked me. Thought he was going to go to the 49ers. They must have offered him slightly just a little bit more money or something. I don't know. I also am shocked that he didn't get more than at least 15. Like we were talking about this.
I thought he was going to get 20.
I thought he was going to get something nice. He's taking it. I think just with his name, he's taking a pretty decent discount there. They re-signed Greg Rousseau, 4 years, $80 million. He's been there for a while. They like him. And then linebacker Terrell Bernard agrees to a 4-year extension worth $50. Again, another guy that's been there that they like. Been solid for that defense. And then they re-signed DeMar Hamlin to a 1-year, $2 million deal. I mean, not much else going on.
Close to league minimum right there.
Yeah, they have a lot more things going on, but nothing that's really a big name or as impactful as I think. Maybe D-tackle Larry Ogunjobi, a 1-year, $8.3 million contract. I think he played for the Seahawks last.
Yeah, he's been on the Browns. He's been all over the league. The Dolphins really haven't done a lot of crazy stuff. They signed Zach Wilson to a 1-year deal. Also signed Alexander Madison to a 1-year deal. They did get James Daniels, who I think was on the Steelers, wasn't he?
Yeah, wasn't he a Bear at one point too?
He might. Let's see. Let's click on his profile.
I'm looking.
He's a Steeler. Yeah, he was a Steeler before.
Yeah.
But I think I've been told he's a decent lineman. It's hard because there's so many linemen around there. But other than that, they got Ashton Davis for a 1-year deal, the safety from the Jets. They really haven't done a lot in free agency.
Hey,
They've had quite a
KJ Britt, dude.
Yeah, KJ Britt. Yeah, no.
The great Westbrook Akine, wide receiver. Come on, dude, you can't leave him.
Akine, yeah.
They lost Barrios, so they got to go get somebody else now.
Former Minnesota Viking Alexander Madison, the GOAT.
I think they're going to end up having to keep Tyreek. because I don't think anybody wants him for that type of money. I don't see him
No.
releasing him, so I think Miami probably could have done some more, but they did go heavy on the offensive line. They did sign 4 linemen, so they're trying to
Yeah. And they
keep
needed
it
that.
protected. Next, the New England Patriots. Joshua Dobbs, 2-year, $8 million deal.
The Dobb or not, dude. The past or not.
Which he'll be QB3, I think, unless they get rid of Joe Milton. I think they like Joe Milton. They got wide receiver 1, Mac Hollins.
He's walking around barefoot all over the wind.
Signed a 2-year, $8.4 million deal. Re-signed Austin Hooper to a 1-year, $5 million deal. The big one, Melton Williams, former Eagle, Super Bowl winning Melton Williams, 4-year, $104 million deal with $51 million include fully guaranteed. We don't win a Super Bowl, he doesn't get $104 million. And I'm glad the Eagles did not pay him that, because that is ridiculous.
That's overrated, overhyped, and overpaid.
He was the 3rd best D tackle on that team. Maybe the 2nd best, but overvalued. When you don't got Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis next to you, we'll see how it goes.
New York Jets made a couple big splash plays in free agency. They signed Justin Fields to a 2-year, $40 million deal with $30 million fully guaranteed, including $15 million in signing bonuses and $5 million base salary in 2025. I love this move. I feel like this is different for the Jets. I've been a big Justin Fields guy probably since 3 years ago, once he won me a fantasy championship. He's
you
talented.
only love players when it's relative to fantasy. That's literally you.
I do. And someone may have him in a dynasty league and may be super excited because he's really upset about taking Anthony Richardson before, I don't know, any rookie quarterback. So, no, I'm excited for this. I think, he gets to meet up with Garrett Wilson. I think that this will make Breece Hall a little interesting too, because Breece Hall might not be used in the passing game as much, but he might have a lot more lanes with how much Justin Fields is going to take the ball, and they can do option plays. It's not like when you see him in the backfield and he starts running up to the line, they're probably going to give him the ball compared to they can do a lot of different things. So I like this. I think this is a good move for the Jets. They're probably not in a prime position to get a quarterback, and I don't think this year's quarterback draft is really good. There's probably 3 big names, and after you get through those guys, it's maybe 4. I guess what's that Dart guy?
Is it Sam Dart? Ole Miss?
Jackson Dart
or Jackson, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, as a Garrett Wilson owner in many leagues, and traded for him, I like the Justin Fields move, especially for Garrett Wilson. It's a guy that he has chemistry with. He's going to get the ball. They also don't really have anything at wide receiver besides him. Alan Lazard's there, but he requested a trade. We'll see if that even amounts to anything, because no team's really I want an Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard does great at pass blocking. He can catch the ball. He's shown that he's a decent receiver, but nobody's really looking to go get a wide receiver 3 or 4 in a trade, really.
I'll tell you what, Alan Lazard's either going to be a Minnesota Viking next year or he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Okay. But I think it's great for Garrett Wilson. And then they signed Josh Myers, who I'm pretty sure they played together, too.
Yeah.
So, you got that chemistry, at least between a center and a quarterback already. And then, that offense is going to be interesting. You add some weapons.
It will be.
Just get him some more weapons, and I think it's fine. I think it's a good offense.
Yeah. The Jets also re-signed Jermaine Sherwood to a 3-year, $45 million deal, $13 million a year. They love their defense down there.
Yeah, got to keep that defense. Keep that defense going.
They also signed, the only other big one that they signed was, I guess they did a couple. Brandon Steffens signs a 3-year, $36 million deal, cornerback. I didn't think they really needed a quarterback depth. $10 million a year. It's in the starter range for quarterbacks. So I mean, he'll probably be a third quarterback on the team. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
Ravens guy
let's
last
see
year,
what his
and then the
stats.
last.
He had 1.5 sacks, 59 solo tackles, and no
I mean, he
interceptions.
was a Raven last year, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't maybe depth. I don't know. I feel like they have a pretty decent cornerback room. And then the last one that I think is too that's kind of big is Andrew Cisco. He's been in the league for a while, but they gave him 1 year, $10 million deal. So they're just kind of help that back end and
Andre
know,
Cisco. I can't believe you
or
just
Andre Cisco. What did I say?
Andrew. You're
Andre
dyslexic.
Cisco.
That W's in there.
It is the W.
Yeah, safety help. I think they lost a safety, like one of their
I think they did too.
one of their starters. So, and you said he's been in the league. He's only 24.
Oh, Cisco is?
Yeah.
He's older. Really?
Yeah, he's only 24. Been on
Oh,
Jacksonville he started off as DB, then he went to free safety, and then now he's just a safety. So
Oh, I thought he was older.
yeah,
He's one of those. Oh well, my bad.
only
Egg
24.
on my face.
All right, moving on to the AFC North. Baltimore Ravens really haven't done anything, like at all.
Kinda.
There's 4 things. You re-sign Ronnie Stanley for a 3-year, $60 million contract, which is huge for them. One of their better linemen, one of the better linemen in the league. You bring in wide receiver to die, DeAndre Hopkins, which he's already kind of on the down to die, but a 1-year, $5 million deal. I feel like DeAndre Hopkins, a lot of especially his career ending needs to be studied. How fast he fell off too, because 1 year the dude is a top 10 receiver, and then it just seems like it just gone.
He died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like with the Chiefs, they go and trade for him, they get him, all this hype
People
about
are
it,
so hyped on it,
and then they
hyped
just
on it.
didn't use him.
No,
Or
they
like
didn't.
it was very weird. Like the guy is probably still a top receiver, not maybe top 10 anymore, top 20, but I feel like his ability to still play and do what he was doing got to be at a high level where $5 million is a fucking steal, and you got to be able to get the guy more than 25 yards a game, because he wasn't even getting that with the Chiefs, which is so weird to me. I maybe he's slowed down. I don't know. He looked fine when he played for him. And then the last one, they they re-signed their trusted fullback Patrick Ricard for a 1-year, $2.8 million deal. So, which crazy. We'll talk about a fullback later that's making almost double that a year, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
At a fullback position.
Cincinnati Bengals. Samaje Perine is coming back, baby. To the Cincinnati Bengals, a 2-year, $3.8 million deal. They're like, you know what? The Chiefs, they fucked him up. We're taking him back. We're taking care of him. So Samaje's coming back. T. Higgins, the most screwed over wide receiver in the whole NFL, got franchise tagged for a second time. He'll get paid $26.2 million in 2025. The Bengals said their intent to work with a 6-year pro towards a long-term deal.
Yeah, they said they were willing to work
I
with.
call bull.
Yeah,
I call bull.
They were willing to work with him on a long-term deal 2 years ago, and it still hasn't happened.
Yeah, they're gonna wait till he's 28 years old, where he's gonna get one last contract. Like they screwed him. Now he's making hella money. He's probably made $50 million in the last 2 years. Would probably put him top 20 and pay for wide receivers, but still,
he needs. So one thing the NFL needs to do is it needs to be a one franchise tag and you're done. I feel like that needs to become a rule. You can't sit here and allow multiple franchise tags. I feel it's bullshit. Players like T. Higgins get stuck in this cycle of I don't have the ability to go sign with another team. I have to get traded to another team, which their asking price, whatever it could be, teams aren't willing to give up that for some whatever reason. And then, like you said, he's about to be 28 years old. looking for his second contract finally. Second contract at 28.
Yeah.
He'll get a 3-year deal worth probably $15 to $20 million less than, maybe even more, depending on what he could be getting right now. I hate the franchise. I hate multiple franchise tags. It's so fucking annoying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd want to keep him around Joe Burrow if I would have had him.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree,
it
makes
fiscal sense to just be like, Deegan, come here, keep signing it. I mean, once they signed the last agreement, the NFL players agreement, where they can smoke weed now and do all that stuff, they signed away their rights to hold out. And here's the thing, that's part of it. If he didn't want to play, he could have held out. But now he gets fined and everything. It's not worth it. You got to kind of play. So it sucks. It really does suck to suck, but it is what it is. Mike Gesicki resigns for a 3-year, $25.5 million deal with $12 million in year one. Mike Gesicki, former Penn State tight end, good player. I like him. He had some moments last year with Joe Burrow, so another target for Joe Burrow, good third or fourth option depending on how you look at Chase Brown. Let's see. B.J. Hill re-signs for a 3-year, $33 million deal, defensive lineman. They needed help last year. Really, on the only good bright spot on their defense is probably Cam Taylor-Britt and what's his face, the defensive end that they lost in free agency. I can't think of his name. What is his name? Just the stud.
Hendrickson.
Yeah, Hendricks. So they spent a little money on B.J. Hill, which is okay. They also signed T.J. Slayton to a 2-year, $15.1 million deal. And everyone else is just, I don't know if there's really anyone else, any other big names on there.
Trey Hendrickson's still the Bengals. It's Sam Hubbard that they lost. He retired. That's the one that retired.
Oh,
there we
Sam
go.
Hubbard.
Sam Hubbard retired.
Okay.
I couldn't think of his name for some reason. But yeah, Sam Hubbard retired. Hendrickson's still a team. He is open to be traded. He requested to be traded.
What it's off.
Hasn't been traded yet. There's talks of the Bills potentially going after him.
Joey Bosa and Hendrickson would be crazy.
Who knows if that even happened? I mean, with Bosa signing for $12 million, I mean, fuck, dude. That's
the cap and Josh Allen taking sweetheart deals.
Yeah.
Josh Allen could have broke it.
Yeah.
I want you to know, because he took what? How many mil did he take a year with this?
I think it's like 50 or 55. It's still up there, but it's not worth what his value is. Like,
I thought he could probably got $60 or $70 million a year.
Yeah.
So that's all I have for that. If you want to go,
yeah, he'll make 50. Yeah, he'll make 55.
55. Yeah. That's what, $10 million less than Dak, or is Dak making 60?
5. Dak's making 60.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if any quarterback surpasses Dak for a while. I think a lot of these guys, maybe Lamar, C.J. Stroud, but a lot of these guys are kind of taking, like they're taking a lot of money, but they're not. They're being smart about it, I guess. They're like, let's use that extra 10 to 15 million for something else. Like that extra $5 million landed basically Mike Gesicki for a year, shit like that, I guess. Or Oren Burks, this linebacker, whoever the fuck he is, 2-year, $5 million contract, basically paid for. Like, there's got to do those things. Okay, so we did the Bengals. All right, Browns. There's a couple things here. Devin Bush agrees to a 1-year, $3.25 million deal with I like Devin Bush as a linebacker. I think he's a pretty decent linebacker.
Has not panned out to what I thought he'd be. He got drafted.
was super hyped up. Unfortunately, hasn't done exactly what he was expected to. Was to do. But I like him. I like Devin Bush. I like watching him play. Kenny Pickett is acquired in a trade with the Eagles for Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a 2025 fifth-round pick. I don't know what they see in Kenny Pickett that they decided to sign him, whatever. I just can't wait for the random Thursday night football game, or it's going to be a primetime game that like can't be swapped out, and it's going to be Kenny Pickett versus Mason Rudolph, Browns-Steelers game, because it's just bound to fucking happen. It's bound to happen. Yeah. So can't wait for that.
He's the quarterback of the future. So.
As an Eagles fan, it's fine. Our backup quarterbacks haven't really made a difference for us because Jalen Hurts has been.
Hey, Kenny Pickett, Super Bowl winning.
Yeah, Super Bowl winning quarterback.
He played in a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? He won them. He was the quarterback that finished that game and won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Super Bowl winning and played in Kenny Pickett. Sorry, the disrespect. I need to go get his jerseys now. I like Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He's had his moments. The Browns are also kind of poverty, so it's whatever. He's a mobile quarterback, so it's something that we can. If Hurts, God forsaken, gets hurt, you throw him in, whatever. I guess we still have Tanner McKee too, that has done decent for us. And then the big one, Myles Garrett signs a 4-year, $123 million guaranteed, and is going to be making a $40 million average per year. So he's tied to the Browns for the next 6 years. No trade clause. This is the type of shit that annoys me.
I agree.
I want to go to a contender. Trade me to a contender. Here's $40 million a year. It was never about the money. I'm family here. No, it was, sure, you want to win. I get you want to win. But money talks. It was about money too.
Money talks, bullshit walks. And let me tell you something, Skinny. Let me tell you something. If someone waved $2 million a year in your face, and it was something you didn't want to do, you'd probably...
I'm going to fucking take it.
You know what? Sorry, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to finish this out.
He could have went...
I don't know.
He could have... I'm not saying this is the team that was offered, but the Commanders, here's a 4-year... Trade him to the Commanders, which, again, the Browns would have had to been open to doing.
And you actually... I respect the Commanders, and they are a playoff team. Possibly. We'll see what next year... Next year will be a big deal to them.
Yeah.
I really like everything they've done, and Dan Campbell's done a great job. They got their quarterback of the future. But do you think that they're actually a contender, Super Bowl contender? Because I don't.
No, but it was an example because they kind of seem like a contender. Okay, the Lions. We'll just go with the fucking Lions.
Yes.
Lions could have been like, hey, we'll trade for him. He wants a contract extension, so we'll sign that too. Here is $35 million per year for the next 4 years. You're going to tell me you're going to not accept that $20 million over the next 4 years to play for a team that is right there, an actual true contender compared to the Browns are not going to be a contender in the next 6 years. There's no fucking way. It's not going to happen. That's the type of shit that annoys me. Don't come out and say, I want to go play for a contender, and then as soon as you can go make $40 fucking million a year, you're all of a sudden like it was never about the money.
Yeah, stupid.
Unless the Browns were adamant that they weren't going to trade him, I guess he's kind of held there because he can't do anything about it. But I feel like the right package would have gotten him out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, we can move on to we can go to the Steelers. There's
the Pittsburgh Steelers. Little Austin. We should have had him on the podcast today. Should have asked him.
Well, yeah, I didn't even think about it.
But they they didn't re-sign. They signed back Mason Rudolph for a 2-year, $8 million contract. What is he, QB1 right now? Mason Robot.
Yeah, I think so.
Rudolph the Moon. Quarterback 1, going to lead this team to the playoffs. They did sign Kenneth Gainwell to a 1-year, $1.7 million deal. He might have a lot of playing time this year.
fucking steal.
It is a steal. It is, but he honestly, Skinny, I could see him beating out Jalen Warren.
He could.
This is one of those. This is one of those signings that, if depending on what they do, if they get like a Scatabo or something like that, like I could see this getting a little bit muddy. But if this is the roster they're going in with, get an Aaron Rodgers, get a Russell Wilson, get a whoever the hell they're going to get. Kenneth Gainwell, I'm just saying it right now, he could be really interesting for fantasy.
Yeah.
This is a smart move for Kenneth Gainwell more than I think people think it is, because he has a legitimate chance of starting in this backfield.
Yeah.
And he's a decent player.
I mean, just watch his film. He was a good backup. Saquon's out.
Yeah.
He comes in.
Yeah,
he's doing just as well, in terms of.
Well, he's a good pass catcher too.
Yeah, he's great out of the backfield. He's got the good spin, the good juke. Like, he's a very good player, and he's good through contact. Yeah, for $1.7 million.
It's a sneaky signing.
Very sneaky signing. It all really depends on if they go and add somebody in the draft or bring back, re-sign a free agent that's out there that potentially could be better, but I don't see that happening.
Nope. DK Metcalf acquired in a trade with the Seahawks in exchange for a 2025 second-round pick. Weird. I thought this would be more than a second-round pick, but then they also have a late-round pick swap. DK is signing a 4-year, $132 million extension, which would be like what, 30-some million a year.
Yeah, I think it put right in. Yeah,
32.5 or something like that. So that's more. Is that more than JJ?
So $33 million. Let's go look at.
It's crazy, actually. I think it is more than Justin Jefferson. I think that he only is getting paid like $30 million a year or something like that.
He's getting 35.
Oh, he's getting 35.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would be over AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he.
We also have to think the salary cap is increasing significantly.
It is, but
some of these numbers, they're going to be a little skewed with things. Like Josh Allen signing for $55 million a year sounds like a lot of money, but compared to the salary cap, he took less than whatever. But
here's the thing: this is like on paper, this team's going to look really good with DK Metcalf and George Pickens. You got a slightly faster George Pickens that isn't as good of a receiver, like good a contested catch receiver as George Pickens. You know what I mean?
I would just hate to be a DB. That's all. I just hate to be a fucking DB because
they're gonna pull you the shit out of them.
You're gonna get. We're gonna talk about a DB that signed with him, but I bet he's glad he signed with that team because now he doesn't get bullied.
Well, you just have the same player, just one's a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And one's way better at contested
just go.
catches. But it's
the biggest thing with them is they're not good. They're not like great or good, whatever. Like in the slot, slants, quick. So you go and get Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be a fucking problem because that's Aaron Rodgers.
This goal line fucking red zone fucking team's gonna be crazy. Because then they also signed Darnell Parham Jr., who's like 8 foot tall, dude.
Yeah.
Like the size of it. Pat Fryermuth might be the smallest person on this team. He's a tight end, dude. So it's crazy. They also signed Malik Harrison to a 2-year, $10 million deal, and then to round it all off, Super Bowl winning Darius Slay signs a 1-year, $10 million deal.
Yeah, fully guaranteed. Yeah, the Eagles weren't going to give him that.
They need the back end help.
And it's good. And it's good for like Porter Jr. Got an old guy come in, give you some advice, that type of shit. The Eagles were not going to pay him $10 million fully guaranteed.
No,
as a number 2, basically. maybe even 3. I mean, technically, because Cooper DeJean is a nickel. He's not an outside guy. So that other outside guy, Darius Slay. But, I mean, the Eagles, from a standpoint of what we have on our roster, it's big because we don't have a true number 2 outside guy now that we're going to either have to get in the draft or hopefully if anybody's there for a signing. But, yeah, $10 million because Darius Slay's like 34. No fucking way. No fucking way.
Yeah.
All I know is he's going to lock up JJ if the Steelers play the Vikings.
Shut the fuck up.
All right.
JJ's the best, skinny.
Moving on to the AFC South. It's my turn, right? You just did the last one. I forget.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. The Texans are signing whatever the fuck they can for wide receiver with Tank Dell being gone and Stephon Diggs gone. Braxton Berrios, a 1-year deal for $2 million. Great slot guy. I think he's a pretty good slot guy. Justin Watson, he was a deep ball guy for Patty Mahomes. And then they acquire Christian Kirk in exchange for a 2026 7th round pick, which, whatever, 7th round pick, but
good value.
Yeah, Christian Kirk got hurt last year. It'll be interesting to see what he comes back to be. I mean, that's Nico Collins is been good. Tank Dell, unfortunately, hurt, so he'll be out for the season, I'm pretty sure. So they just got to find that number 2 for him. They have, like, Xavier Hutchinson. They have John Mechie, so those dudes stepped up a little bit. They did step up. With Stephon Diggs gone out, too, they stepped up. So they need that second guy to just step up. Second guy, step up. Laken Tomlinson, offensive guard, like Laken Tomlinson, agreed to a 1-year, $4.25 million deal. They got to protect him.
They've done
much
shit.
Which is crazy to me because they've only gotten 2 offensive linemen, and their biggest thing was not protecting Stroud. This one, hold on.
Which one are you looking at?
1 second.
Okay.
The weird thing that they did, though, was they traded Laramie Tunsil. That's not on here for some reason. They traded Laramie Tunsil to the Washington Commanders.
It won't be on there because it'll be once the Commanders are on there. So you're jumping too quick.
Sorry. Okay, they re-signed Derek Barnett, so their pass rush is going to be good. Edge Darrell Taylor, 1 year, both 1 years, about $5 million each. Mario Edwards, D-line, 2-year, 9.5. Cornerback, kick returner Traymon Smith, 2-year, $7 million. They did trade for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, along with a 2026 6th-round pick with the Eagles in exchange for offensive guard Kenyon Green and a 2026 5th-rounder. I hate to see him go again.
For the Eagles.
I hate to see him go again. But one thing that Howie does is he likes his youth. He likes to use his draft picks, get them going. Right now, Sidney Brown's the guy to step up. There must be something. We lost
Gardner Johnson's not that old, though.
No. He prioritized linebacker, which is interesting to me because we never do that. We never prioritize linebackers. Gardner Johnson's only 27. He'll end up an Eagle somehow. It's bound to fucking happen. It seems like it's going to happen. But the guard, Kenyon Green, we'll discuss later. He's only 23, so there's something that the Eagles must see. But I hate to see him go, but because he
loves to watch him leave.
He's gonna wound up an Eagle again somehow. I don't know how, but it's gonna happen again. He'll be an Eagle.
They just can't quit him. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Indianapolis Colts. Dan the Man Jones, formerly known as Daniel Jones, signs a 1-year, $14 million deal with 13.15 fully guaranteed. Why not do the whole?
Yeah, exactly. You can't have $850,000.
Daniel Jones is like, you want to fuck me out of that? It's okay.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. But uh, I think this is good for Anthony Richardson. He had an up and down year last year. His rookie year showed some promise. Was hurt half of his rookie year. Last year is up and down. Daniel Jones, I would feel like would be more of a mentor towards him, but also legitimately could take the starting job.
Well, it's just like Joe Flacco. Comes in to be his mentor, comes and takes the fucking job. You know, like
when are these coaches gonna realize if you're gonna take the money, take the investment, you die by them, or you like these coaches that bench them and do that stuff? You're just doing damage. Work with them. Try to do that. Like go through the whole thing.
He could have. Daniel Jones could have stayed a Viking, but he was like, "Nope. You guys want Sam Darnold too? You got JJ. I'm gonna go to a place that I potentially could become the starter by week 6."
Mm-hmm. They signed Khalil Herbert to a 1-year deal.
Meh.
Yeah. They signed cornerback Jadarius Ward for a 3-year, $60 million contract, $35 million guarantee, including $20 million signing bonus. A lot of money. I like Jadarius Ward. I believe was he still on the Chiefs last year? I don't remember if he was on the Chiefs.
No, I think he was a Titan, wasn't he?
I think you're right. I think he was a Titan. And did they release him? They must have released him. No.
Oh no. Kansas, and then he was a 49er.
Oh, he was a 49er. That's right.
Who became a Titan?
It's the other one. He got paid a fuck ton of money. What is his name? He was the one that was like a monster last year that just I can't think of his name. He was like a 1-year guy that really did it. They didn't want to pay him, and then he got traded to the Titans. I can't think of his name.
I'm looking at it. You keep talking.
Yeah, look at him. And then they signed safety, former Minnesota Viking Cameron Byram to a 4-year, $60 million contract. He's a damn good safety. I don't know if I'd pay him that much, to be completely honest, but
it's going up. So
it's going up. But you know what?
$8 million last year is the new $12 million this year. So
he's good. I kind of want a Vikings to keep him over Josh Metellus, but
not with that type of money.
No,
L'Jarius Sneed, that's who I was thinking of for the Titans.
Yeah, Sneed, that's who it is. But still a damn good player.
Yeah. Jacksonville Jaguars, don't know what the fuck they're doing, because none of this really makes any sense. They signed Nick Mullins to a 2-year, $6.5 million deal. They had Diami Brown to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Out of Brian Thomas Jr., you need some fucking help. You got rid of Evan Ingram. What the fuck? Yeah. Like, you need pass catchers. What are you doing to Trevor Lawrence? You're not giving him shit besides...
What's his face? I saw they're talking about the other tight end that they have behind Evan Ingram. He played a lot last year. I haven't been in fantasy, but they're talking about he might be a big part of the offense this year.
They signed a guy named Hunter Long, 2-year, $5 million deal, whatever. Like, Johnny Munt, whatever.
Former Minnesota Viking.
Yeah, former Minnesota Viking. Then they signed Jordan Lewis to a 3-year, $30 million, $20 million guaranteed. Okay, you got a DB, got a safety in Eric Murray, 3-year, $22.5 million, $12 million guaranteed. But, like, what are you doing? Get this. You guys, the Jags keep signing wide receivers that are like, you had Calvin Ridley 1 year, then you were like done with him. You have Brian Thomas Jr., a young star, but then you just have shit. Just shit. Like, I'm not saying Diami Brown is terrible, but he's not a wide receiver too. You lost Christian. You traded away Christian Kirk, who could have been your wide receiver too, with healthy. Like, get Trevor Lawrence some goddamn help.
Let that man cook, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this Trevor Lawrence's like deciding year?
Yeah,
like,
he has a fucking contract, so it doesn't fucking matter. He's got.
But do you think this is like if he doesn't show anything in the tight end I'm talking about, Skinny, is let me see. Brent Strange is going to be the starting tight end.
Yeah.
And they're talking about big things from him. I was like, we'll see. We shall see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Tennessee Titans. They signed quarterback Braden Allen.
Meh.
They signed Van Jefferson to 1 year,
Two.
$2.5 million deal.
Meh.
I like Van Jefferson. It's all right. Um, they signed Dan Moore Jr., who I have no idea who the fuck that is, but he's a tackle. He must be decent. To a 4 year, $82 million deal, $50 million guaranteed. I'm not going to say I know all the defensive linemen and offensive linemen because there are a lot of guys that kind of fly under the bus. But I know a lot of the big game name guys. I don't know who this is. Do you know who that is?
Dan Moore Jr.
I'm
Let's
guessing.
look him up.
Skinny doesn't know who he is, so whoever the hell he is, if we don't know who the fuck he is, why is he getting paid $20 million a year to be
He was
tackle?
a former Steeler, it looks like. Was a Steeler for 4 years. Yeah.
He's the best. I do know who Kevin Ziltra is.
Zeitler?
Former Brown, correct? Or Zeitler.
Kevin Zeitler?
Sorry. Kevin Zeitler, former Brown, correct, though? I believe.
Kevin Zeitler. Yeah, he was a Lion, too. Bengals, Brown. It's funny, you choose the Browns when he was there, besides the Detroit. He's been there the least. He was a Bengal, a Brown, a Giant, a Raven, and a Lion.
I just think of him as the Browns, man. I don't know. But 1 year, $9 million contract. They sign. Let's see, who else they sign? Cody Barton, linebacker Cody Barton, to a 3 year, $21 million contract. And then they sign Xavier Woods, former Minnesota Vikings, to just a sign with him. And the other one is Johnny Hecker.
You left out D-line Sebastian Joseph Day, man. Re-signed with the team for one.
Yeah, for 1 year, $7.5 million.
Hey, all I'm looking at this is they have signed four pretty decent offensive linemen. Two of them are, some bigger names, I'd say, in terms of
Yeah.
Dan Moore Jr. Clearly, if he's making that type of money, you got to be a decent fucking player. And then Kevin Zeitler, who's a pretty big name, I'd say. And they re-signed a guy. They're just gonna go and protect Cam Ward. That's all they're doing.
That's what it should.
All right, AFC West. Denver Broncos haven't done much either. Besides their defense is gonna be fucking phenomenal in the pass game. That's all. They signed Evan Ingram to a 2 year, $23 million, which I think is great. He's a good pass catcher.
Smart.
Their tight ends have kind of been hyped up the last couple of years and then just super depressing. The Alex O, he had that weirdly long last name. I think he ended up getting hurt, so he just kind of fell off.
What was the other one?
Greg Dulcich.
Dulcich, yeah.
I like him, but then he got hurt too. So Evan Ingram, Bo Nix needs a tight end. I think that's a solid sign for him. Then their defense, they went off. Dre Greenlaw, 3 year, $35 million. Justin Sternard, 1 year, $2.7 million. Taluna Hafanaga signed a 3 year, $45 million. Like, that pass game, they already have Pat Surtain. They have, what's his nuts, the defensive tackle, Allen. Like, that defense was good last year. Adding those guys, especially with, you watched them on the 49ers, they were hard hitters, impact play. Like, that defense is going to be very scary to play this year. And if they're not a top 3 defense in the league, I would be shocked.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, they did a lot of that. The safety from the Niners is really fucking good. I don't know how you're gonna try to pronounce his name. He's basically, he reminds me of modern day Troy Polamalu kind of.
Yeah.
He's a damn good ball hawk. And
Is it because of his hair?
Well, he actually trains with him too, believe it or not. But I think he's a damn good player. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the Broncos are going to do this year, especially with Bo Nix getting another pass catcher, and we'll see what they do in the draft. I'm sure he'll get his brother in the draft they'll figure out a way to get him because his draft stock is tanking. Being such a short guy running 4.5 is not good.
Yeah, not good.
Kansas City Chiefs time, baby.
They've
They
done a lot.
sign. They have done a lot. They've signed quarterback Gardner Minshew, who failed his physical.
Oh, he did?
Mustache Mania. Yeah, he failed his physical. That's why they got rid of him, is what I saw. So,
Oh, jeez.
for Raiders, good for them. Good for Gardner Minshew. They also signed former New England Patriot Bailey Zappi to a 1-year deal. Kareem Hunt resigns for a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. Might as well. It's Kareem Hunt. Where else is he going to go? He's starting to do it. Another interesting, this backfield's going to be really crowded. They signed Elijah Mitchell. Interesting signing. I think Elijah Mitchell could have, if he would have gone to the Steelers, I thought that'd be kind of interesting. One of those teams that's kind of running back needy. But really was hyped up, had a really good year, and then CMC destroyed his career. So you have that. Marquise Hollywood Brown signs a 1-year, $11 million deal. Nice. Good for them. He didn't get to play a lot last year. Once he did play, he looked decent.
I am speed.
I am speed. Juju Smith-Schuster resigns for a 1-year deal. Offensive tackle Jalen Moore signs a 2-year, $30 million deal. I mean, they need to protect. I mean, that's how you make the money. That's how you win Super Bowls. Offensive line. That's why they lost a Super Bowl, and that's really why they lost against the Eagles too.
They lost 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
because
they lost 2 Super Bowls because of offensive line. They also re-signed, or no, they didn't re-sign. They signed, or no, yeah, they signed the non-exclusive franchise tag for Trey Smith, so he gets paid $23.4 million. I thought Trey Smith was still on the team, so okay. So they signed a franchise tag.
He was potentially going to be traded, was talks to get traded, but then they didn't.
He's a good player, too. They signed defensive tackle Jerry Tillery.
You're going through every single one of their names right now, dude.
No, I did not. I didn't say Jalen Moore.
Yes, you
did.
did.
Jerry Tillery was a big name. No, I did not say Jalen Moore.
Yeah, you did.
Or no, I did say Jalen Moore.
Yeah, exactly.
You've gone
through every single one of their names.
Hey, a lot of these players used to be... Jerry Tillery used to be a dog, dude.
Oh, my God.
You just don't know. He used to be a dog. Linebacker Nick Bolton signs a 3-year, $45 million deal.
The heart of that defense.
I like him.
Yeah, heart of their defense.
Once he gets hurt, it sucks. But here's the thing: all of them are kind of fucking big deals, except for the long snapper. Because
James Winchester deserves his credit.
Fuck him. But Christian Fulton was kind of a big deal for a while in the draft, and he did not really do anything for the Titans. He signs a 2-year, $20 million deal, $15 million guaranteed, and then you can't fuck on Matt Ariza, dude. After all he's been through.
James Winchester is a 3-time Super Bowl champ long snapper, all right? You fucking respect him.
No.
You respect him.
James Winchester, fuck you. But Matt Ariza signs a tender by the team, an exclusive free agent right worth $960,000.
Yeah, they're bringing a lot of their team back, keeping a lot of their guys. They've added some. They need the wider. You don't know what's going to happen with fucking Xavier Worthy now too.
Yeah, I know, dude. I argue with Skylar about how bad Kansas City is. Maybe it is that bad with everyone beating the shit out of people. Jesus.
You have no idea what's going to happen with your 2 top receivers next year.
No.
So
and the key word is 2 top. 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
So you bring back Juju, who Juju has had his success with him, and Hollywood Brown could be wide receiver 1 for fucking while, depending on what happens.
Can't keep the hands off people, dude. Jeez.
Not.
Christ.
Fuck. All right, moving on to the Raiders. Geno Smith acquired a trade from the Seahawks for a 2025 third-round pick. I'm actually kind of shocked that he went for a third, but it makes sense because he is a starter and probably has been like a top 20 quarterback consistently. Like he's been consistent at least. It's not pretty, but it's better than Aiden O'Connell, I think.
I
Um,
think you're hedging your bet that you don't get fucking Deion Sanders' son. Like I think it's a
yeah,
hedge bet, like
yeah,
where you're like, okay, can we still make something of this regime? Can we still like Pete Carroll obviously likes him
yeah. It
because
makes
otherwise they
sense.
wouldn't do that. But I don't know.
Um, Raheem Mostert to a 1 year, $2.1 million deal. Add some speed. Offensive guard Alex Kappa signed a 2 year, $11 million contract. Edge Max Crosby signs a 3 year extension worth $106.5 million, $91.5 million guaranteed, which is crazy because he signed that and I think he was making 35 or something, and then Myles Garrett comes in and is like, "No, fuck you, I'm gonna make 40 million." Like soon after, he deserves the fucking money. He is that team. Kind of shocked
No,
they
he
didn't
is.
trade him because they fucking got rid of everything else. But Max Crosby wants to be in Las Vegas. Um, and he
He loves
deserves
it.
deserves all of it. Now get that fucking offense figured out. Um, they sign Eric Stokes, DB, 1 year, $4 million deal, and safety Jeremy Chin to a 2 year deal worth $16 million, and then they re-signed safety Isaiah Polo Mao, which he played pretty decent for him. 2 year extension for $8.5 million. You got to do something. Their defense has been bad. They have players.
Been really bad.
They have players to play decent defense, but fuck, that offense needs to. They need to do something with that offense because it is terrible.
Yes, that it is. That it is. The Chargers. They re-signed Taylor Heineke, former Minnesota Viking, former Washington Commander, former St. Louis Battlehawk, Taylor Heineke. They need to back up. They got Najee Harris for a 1 year, $5.2 million deal, fully guaranteed 3.5, or no, fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah, but its max value
Three
is like
point,
9 point something.
yeah, $3.75 million deal with 1.5 base.
Steal.
Yeah, 9.2.
What
Yeah, it
a
is. It
fucking
is. I think
steal.
he's been a 1,000 yard rusher. He's shown that he does it. I mean, honestly, the money Josh Jacobs got compared to Najee Harris, like Najee Harris has been better than Josh Jacobs. It hasn't been as pretty.
Steal. Like a
Yeah.
1 year deal to me for Najee is crazy because the guy is like been consistent. He's super consistent. Just fuck somebody pay him a little bit more money. Miles Sanders got fucking $8 million a year. DeAndre Swift got $8 million. You telling me Najee Harris can't get at least $8 million a year? What the fuck? But I love it.
Jalen
I think
Reagor.
it's a good. I think it's a good
Oh,
move. I think it's a good sign. It's a
I do
chart
too.
run heavy offense.
They're gonna run him. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're gonna run him. Jalen Rigger resigns with them. Mike Williams comes back for 1 year, $6 million deal. He can't
good
quit him
sign.
either. Mekhi Becton signs with them.
Love it. If as long as he stays the guard, you run it right behind that motherfucker on whatever side he's on, and you're getting 6 yards a time.
Good for them. Khalil Mack resigns a 1 year, $18 million deal, fully guaranteed. They can't quit Khalil Mack, dude.
Nope.
They just keep
And he's
resigning
been,
his ass.
and the thing is he's been producing for him. 6 sacks
Yeah,
in one game. I mean, fuck, he's been doing the work for him.
Yes. They signed Dante Jackson, cornerback Dante Jackson, to a 2 year, $13 million deal, help him in the back end. They also signed Elijah Molden to a 3 year, $18.75 million deal. And the one that really gets me is why the hell did they sign St. Jude, man? He gave up almost 1,000 yards last year in 1,000 passing yards. He was the number one most thrown against DB in the whole league and gave up 1,000 yards.
Harbaugh thinks he can save him.
He's I can save you.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the NFC finally. Starting off, the Dallas Cowboys signed 2 running backs, Miles Sanders to a 1 year deal and Javonte Williams to a 1 year, $3 million deal. It'll be interesting to see who comes out as running back RB1 for him. Most likely Javonte Williams is my guess.
Sanders cooked, man. Sanders cooked.
Sanders with the Panthers just was not good. Better offensive line now, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, both. I mean, they're both pretty good runners, both good out of the backfield, so be good for them. Paris Gamble agreed to a 1-year deal. Dante Fowler signing a 1-year, $8 million deal, so they add that add that pass rush. Osa Indigjahuzua, I have no fucking idea, re-signs on a 4-year, $80 million contract. That's something that I rather would have seen Melton Williams sign close to than $104 million. If that was the contract, re-sign Melton Williams all day. Solomon Thomas agrees to a 2-year contract. They lost Dexter Lawrence. Fucking what's his nuts? DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they lost him to get some defensive line edge rushers. Kenneth Murray Jr. acquired in a trade from the Titans in exchange for a late round pick swap. Cowboys receive 7th round pick, and the Titans receive a 6th round pick. I like Kenneth Murray. He's been
I do too.
Pretty solid linebacker in the league. For what the Titans have been doing to rebuild, kind of shocked that they traded him, especially when you're not getting much value out of it, but whatever. They also made a trade for Kyer Alam with the Bills for a 2025 6th round pick in exchange for a 2025 5th round pick in a 2026 7th round
I kind of was shocked about this one.
Yeah, the Bills.
Young DB.
Yeah, young DB. The Bills need their defensive backs. Whatever. I guess they like it. And then the last big one for me at least, they re-sign kick returner, wide receiver Kevontae Turpin to a 3-year, $18 million deal. That's the most money that a kick returner or special teams player will be making.
All because he did a juke, dude. He fumbled
a spin. It was a spin.
A spin, yeah, you're right.
I mean, he's been a good kick returner. Can't deny that.
Yeah. New York Giants. They re-signed Danny DeVito to a 1-year deal.
Tommy
DeVito. For them, dude. Or Tommy.
Imagine Danny, old ass Danny DeVito lining up. The dude,
Tommy DeVito. Yeah,
the dude would need his offensive line to stay bend over so he could fucking see over.
Yeah. They signed wide receiver Darius Slayton to a 3-year, $36 million deal. They just love Darius Slayton.
Hold on. They'll re-sign Darius Slayton to a 3-year, $36 million deal, but won't pay Saquon Barkley that type of money.
Yeah, you know.
Like, what the fuck?
They love Darius Slayton, dude. They fucking love him.
I get he's a running back, and it's different a little bit with wide receiver and running back money. But come on. That's fucking Saquon Barkley right there. You could have had him.
They did a lot of weird shit. I mean, I guess you could say James Hudson, they signed to a 2-year, $12 million deal, offensive tackle. They signed edge Chancey Goldston to a 3-year, $19 million deal.
Yeah, there's nothing really speak out to me.
Paulson Adabu, the cornerback from the Saints, they signed a 3-year, $54 million deal. But nothing's really flashy, really.
I guess Javon Holland, a safety, 3-year, $45 million.
That's right, Javon Holland.
But as a quarterback, potentially like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, you look at this and you're like, the only good thing that you have going for you, you have a solid. I guess you have a pretty decent defense. Dexter Lawrence, McKinney, who played very well for you have. Or no, you don't. He's on the Packers.
What's his face? What the fuck is their defensive lineman that they drafted a couple years ago? Number 5, Treadabo.
Fuck, from Oregon. How the fuck do you say his last name? Thibodeau or something. Yeah, you have him. You have a pretty good Thibodeau. You have a pretty good front line, but then on offense, it's like, here's Malik Neighbors, and here is the running back. Dude, not doing a podcast has fucking completely destroyed my.
I know that's what I mean. Once you're not looking at these players all the time, like you're like off of it. You're like, that guy in fantasy that we both picked up and we really liked. He played
Tyrone Tracy Jr. Jesus Christ, Tracy. Yeah, like my brain just completely fucking forgets him. Like other than that, your offense, what the fuck? Why would a quarterback want to go there? It'll be interesting to see. Philadelphia Eagles. We traded. We already talked about it. We traded Kenny Pickett for Dorian Thomas-Robinson, backup, probably QB2, QB3, whatever. We signed Saquon Barkley to a 2-year extension worth $41.2 million in new money, with $36 million guaranteed at signing and $15 million more in incentives. That dude's making like 20 point something million dollars a year now. Insane money for running backs. He had one of the best seasons as a running back. Could have been better if we didn't have the tush push. But I mean, fuck it, dude. I'm in for it. I know he's, being another 2,000-yard runner, probably never gonna happen again. But fuck, dude. I'm in. I'm on the Saquon train. Then not only do we have Saquon, we have the second biggest, maybe the biggest quads. I don't know. But our quad game is going to be fucking insane because we signed A.J. Dillon to a 1-year contract.
Some would say the quad fathers.
Yeah, like, good luck, I guess. Like, those are tree trunk legs trying to take down. Yeah. There's talks that we're going to be trading Dallas Goedert potentially. So we did sign Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson. We'll see what happens there. We traded for Kenyon Green, the 23-year-old, for C.J. Gardner-Johnson with some picks. He's 23. What do we have? Probably one of the best offensive line coaches to ever coach the game in Statland. He must think that he can turn him into something pretty decent. He started for the Texans. Definitely could come and start with us with losing Becton. It'll be interesting to see what he can do with him. A lot of our deals are 1-year deals because we have most of our core up for the next 3 years or so. We signed Josh Uche, edge, signing a 1-year deal. That's 1.25 guaranteed, basically, and then whatever incentives. Played for the Chiefs. He was very good as a pass rusher. But then the Chiefs' defense started moving him out to be like more of a coverage edge guy, which is weird to me because that's when his fall off kind of happened. Because in like 2022, the dude had like 10.5 sacks or so. And then like he became more of a pass coverage guy. Like not more of, but they started using him in pass coverage for the short flats and stuff. And then that's when like everything went to shit for him. I think we'll keep him.
Didn't he for the Cardinals?
I don't know who else he's played for. I know he's played for. He was former Chief.
Uche was?
Yeah, England, New England. New England. Oh, New England. Yeah, like he had a pretty decent. He had 11.5 sacks, and then like ever since then, he's kind of been more coverage. It's weird. You think a guy that can get 11.5 sacks keep going after the pass, after the passer, and then. Zach Bond re-signs to a 3-year, $51 million deal. I think that was we had to prioritize and how we wanted Zach Bond back. We prioritized linebacker. We usually don't. Usually we're scrambling for linebackers. It probably won't be another all-pro type season. Maybe it could be. But, I mean, even if he plays up to 3/4 of that, it's still a good linebacker season in my eyes. And then lastly, we signed Adoree Jackson at DB for 1 year, $2.5 million. A guy that I think can line up opposite and be that DB number 2 for us when we absolutely need it. Yeah, I right now it hasn't been any big name signings because, again, we have most of our core, like, most of our team is locked in for the next couple of years. So we're really just kind of filling in some small pieces. And I imagine how he's going to just do it in the draft. We have a fuck ton of picks.
I hate you so much.
Why?
I hate you so much. The Washington Commanders, hopefully the team that dethrones the Philadelphia Eagles in the East next year. Re-signed to a 1-year, $8 million deal. Marcus Mariota. They also re-signed Jeremy McNichols to a 1-year deal.
Who gives a shit about Jeremiah McNichols? Jeremy,
you watch your mouth. He's fantasy relevant.
Go to the ones that people give a shit about.
AJ Osborne, former Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, Jesus.
With the team. Deebo Samuel was acquired in a trade with the 49ers, exchanged for a 5th-round pick. This will be interesting. This team's going to be able to run the fucking ball. That's for sure.
5th-round pick. If Deebo could produce even a little bit. I'm not a big Deebo fan. Haven't been a Deebo fan.
800 yards receiving, 400 yards rushing.
Just give him something decent. The 5th-round pick's a steal. I could have seen more of like a 4th round, probably being more like, hey, like Deebo at his best, I guess. Like be worth a 4th round, but I think a 5th round's a very good.
Here's the thing, though. There's some of these players like John Bates, like tight end John Bates, a 3-year, $21 million. That's legit money for a tight end. Like that's why the hell did they pay?
But he's not even their number 1 tight end.
Like they literally paid him like Mike Gesicki numbers,
and he's not even their number 1 tight end. Not even their number 1.
Zach Ertz, he's getting paid more per year than Zach Ertz, actually.
Who Zach Ertz is their number 1 tight end.
Yeah, 1-year, $6.2 million deal. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Not my pig, not my farm. Larry Tunsil. Go ahead.
They have the money to spend, I guess. So just
John Bates is fucking. That's who you want. Follow the money. The money. Laramie Tunsil is acquired in a trade with the Texans, along with a 2025 4th-round pick in exchange for a 3rd and 7th-round pick in the 2025 season, and a 2nd and 4th-round pick in the 2026 season. This is a great move for them. You hate it? I like it.
I hate it on the Texans' part. The Texans are fucking retarded.
The Texans are dumb. They just paid them all that money, but like for them, that's pretty good.
30 years old, arguably the best left tackle in the league, and you can't even maybe get a 1st-round fucking pick out of him? What the fuck are you doing? You settle for 4 other bullshit picks? Come on. You could have gotten a 1st and 2 other picks out of him for Laramie Tunsil at least. And why trade him? You literally just got your shit rocked. CJ Stroud got sacked, what was it, 8 times, 9 times? Some fucking ridiculous number. And almost died because your other offensive line sucks ass. And you trade away the best thing you have. If I'm CJ Stroud, I'm sad. First of all, I know we're talking about the Commanders.
He lost all of his weapons too.
Yeah, like
you literally don't have Diggs.
You're fucked.
That's gonna be interesting. Where does Diggs go? Like they have Nico.
Yeah,
Collins,
we have
lonely wide receiver.
Yeah,
they have Christian Kirk. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, Commanders.
Hey, now my
fucking.
Now
I love it for the Commanders. Just I don't know what the fuck the Texans are thinking.
They signed Javon Kinlaw to a 3-year, $45 million deal. Defensive lineman, decent money. Kinlaw's all right. They also re-signed Bobby Wagner to a 1-year, $9.5 million deal. It's $8 million guaranteed, and
it's worth it. He's still playing at a high level.
Yeah, he's been playing at a very high level. That's all that matters there.
Oh, Jonathan Jones, come on.
Oh yeah. Jonathan Jones spent the 1-year deal. Also, Will Harris. You're a big Will Harris guy like I am, actually. It's a 2-year, $8 million deal with a maximum of $10 million.
Dude,
guaranteed.
I'm a fucking Tress Way fan, dude. The best punter in the league, re-signing a 1-year deal.
Yeah, actually, Zane Gonzalez leaves the league and comes back. Crazy.
All right, NFC North, Chicago Bears. They have done what's right.
Yeah.
Focus on the interior line on both sides.
Yeah.
Or their line. Jonah Jackson acquired a trade from the Rams in exchange for a 25 6th-round pick. Then he signs a contract extension through 2027. $7 million fully guaranteed and $5 million more for injury, whatever. Solid They get Joe Thuney, acquired in a trade from the Chiefs, which again I think is ridiculous for the Chiefs. You just got six sacks against in the Super Bowl, and you lost.
It's this.
Yeah.
It's this.
Um,
Thuney's going to get a lot.
I'm not saying the Bears have killed the draft, but they have done a very good job in the draft, or not the draft, the free agency, because they went and got things they actually needed. And Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson, center Drew Dahlman signs a 3-year, 40. Like, those are 3 solid guys that are going to do great on the interior to, 1, boost your run game, which was fucking ass, and 2, protect Caleb Williams. I think that's very good. Then on the defensive side, they get Deo Adeyingbo for 3-year, $48 million. And then they go and get Grady Jarrett for a 3-year, $43 million. So their pass rush and run defense should be a lot better this year. Just they did the things that they needed to do. They didn't try to get fancy and go get another They lost Keenan Allen, didn't go and try to re-sign another, big name wide receiver. They didn't go and try to get some other stupid bullshit. They took what needed to get done, the big stuff for the core, and I think they nailed their free agency so far. They go and add a wide receiver, great.
Chef's kiss by Skinny.
I think they've done exactly what they need for Caleb Williams.
Now the Lions, on the other hand, have no fucking money. They re-signed former Minnesota Viking Marcus Davenport to a 1-year, $4.75 million deal. We gave him a whole hell of a lot of money to do no sacks on our team. They also re-signed Tim Patrick.
He got hurt last year, so this is kind of his redemption year for him.
To a 1-year, $4 million deal. And then the only really one that's kind of a big signing, I guess, is they signed Derek Barnes to a 3-year, $25.5 million deal, $16 million guaranteed. Other than that, DJ Reed signs as a free agent.
Yeah.
No one really crazy names. I mean, Kyle Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Yeah, so there you go.
All right, Green Bay Packers have not done, shit.
Never do either.
Offensive guard Aaron Banks agrees to a 4-year, $77 million deal. Keep him, get him, protect Jordan Love. Isaiah McDuffie re-signs on a free agent deal. Nate Hobbs agrees to a 4-year, $48 million deal. Your defense their defense was super good last year. They added the Giant safety, is it McKinney?
Mm-hmm.
And then who I think he led the league in interceptions at one point, or even the whole season. You have Jair Alexander. Their defensive back end is pretty good. And then their kicker Brandon McManus re-signs to a 3-year, $15 million deal. They haven't done a whole lot, so.
We couldn't have picked this out better because we both got to talk about our own teams.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just pure chance. The Minnesota Vikings.
Again, not all of these signings are.
Go. Aaron Jones, a 2-year, $20 million deal, $13 million script. We just can't quit Aaron Jones, man.
I thought they'd go and get Najee. I really thought they'd go get some youth.
I wanted them to get a running back. But you know what? I will be okay if Aaron Jones, $13 million deal, we could cut him in a year if we needed to. Not that big of a deal, not that much money, but we better fucking draft a running back this year. If we leave the draft without drafting a running back, I'm going to be pissed. Because this is a year everyone should be grabbing running backs.
For Najee going for $5 million, kind of shocked. Just saying.
A little bit. We decided that we are the Colts interior lineman now, and we signed Will Fries to a 5-year, $88 million deal. Love it. We need it. That is Minnesota's biggest weakness. That's Sam Darnold, why he's getting fucked up in the playoff games and everything. Our interior line is ass. We have 2 of probably the top 5 best tackles in the league, and once the interior line is your weakness, it's not good. We also had struggles running the ball at some point once we get big linemen, such as teams like the Eagles, unfortunately, people that have killer pass rush, Max Crosby, players like that, they really destroy the Minnesota offensive line. It's not good. We also have Ryan Clark, agrees to a 2-year, $18 million deal with $9 million guaranteed. Love that. We needed that. We ended up getting rid of Bradbury. Won't say it on here. Fuck Bradbury. Um, we signed defensive tackle Jonathan Allen to a 3-year, $51 million deal with a max value of $60 million deal. We needed defensive linemen. That's offensive linemen and offensive interior linemen, defensive linemen have
Right,
been our struggle.
right now. Before we continue, right now, I think the Vikings have had, if not the best, one of the best free agencies. Will Freeze, Ryan Kelly, Jonathan Allen, like everything that they've done has been fucking spectacular. It should be spectacular in the season for them. It
Here's
just
the
comes
thing,
down
we
to,
have
at
to.
that point, it comes solely down to your quarterback. Everything else is covered for you guys.
We've had to because we don't have any picks. Like we have 3 picks going this season. I think we got a compensatory pick or whatever the fuck it is. We have 4 picks going into the draft.
Oh,
We have to hit on what we do. We got defensive tackle Javon Hargraves for a 2-year, $30 million deal. Again, chef's kiss.
Fuck.
We have 3 defensive tackles. It'll probably play defensive end and
Yeah.
right end and left end just because we're in a 3-4. Love it. I think that this is going to make us a tougher team. We also go out and we get back Eric Wilson, who I love, former Minnesota Viking, also former Eagle. And
Didn't do much
he's
for
a
us,
great.
so
No, he was really good with the Vikings though. Once he played for us, he played a right outside linebacker. He'll play. He won't pass rush. He'll play inside. He'll probably be depth piece, but still that's good. We re-signed Byron Murphy to a 3-year, $54 million deal with $66 million. The max value of $66 million. Don't hate it. Love him. He had a lot of picks last year. Was also targeted left done last year. We signed Isaiah Rogers
good
to a
nickel
1-year deal. Good nickel.
and
I love
speed
that.
and speed at that position.
We also re-signed Harrison Smith to a new contract up to $14 million, including a base salary of $10 million. I don't hate that.
He wants to retire a Viking, and I respect it.
Let him retire a Viking, man. $10 million. I mean, he still plays good. Now, granted, if anyone's fast like Jameson Williams, he's probably taking over the top on him. But you know what? Fucking move that guy inside. Let him play inside. Let him play linebacker, dude. He can tackle. He's future Hall of Famer Harrison Smith. Keep him, dude. Let him retire a Viking. He is a Viking through and through. So.
All right. The Atlanta Falcons, again, really haven't done anything. You have a solid offense. You just got to figure out your quarterback and hope that Kirk can fucking actually play again or whatever the fuck they're doing there. Your defense did get better, but still wasn't great. They signed a 2-year, $45 million extension with Jake Matthews. Got to protect Kirk or Michael Penix. They had Leonard Floyd as a pass rusher for 1 year, $10 million. I think that's solid for them. And then really after that, I mean, DB Mike Hughes re-signs a 3-year, $18 million deal.
Former Minnesota Vikings.
Nothing crazy. Like, they haven't really done any, like, they're just getting what they need, bringing in guys that'll do their job, hopefully, and you kind of rely on Kirk Cousins bouncing back and fucking doing something with all that money.
Carolina Panthers re-signed Andy Dalton to a 2-year deal.
Hey, he's been great.
The Red Rocket.
Been great for him, and I think he's been probably one of the better quarterbacks you probably could have for a mentor for Bryce Young, honestly.
I agree. They signed Rico Dowdle, which some people say that's not a big deal. He's a 1,000-yard rusher last year. He played really well. I don't like the landing spot for him, to be honest, because he's going to be a backup, but I like Rico Dowdle. Let's see what else they did. They re-signed Tommy Tremble to a 2-year, $16 million deal. $8 million guaranteed. He's okay. Patrick Jones, former Minnesota Vikings Patrick Jones, signs a 2-year, $20 million deal. He's a decent pass rusher. He's not bad. A little bit pricey for what he is. I think he's more of a $5 million guy a year, but not my pig, not my farm. They sign defensive lineman Tershawn Wharton to a 3-year, $54 million deal with $30 million guaranteed. No fucking clue who that is. Probably someone that's
played for Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Some of the
5 seasons, 115 total tackles, 13.5 sacks in 5 years. So his best season was last year, 6.5 sacks.
So cool. They get nose tackle Bobby Brown III to a 3-year, $21 million deal with a max value of $27 million deal, helping that defensive line. They also signed J.C. Horn agrees to a 4-year extension, $100 million a year, $70 million guaranteed. Go get your money, J.C. Horn.
I guess. Fuck. He's like the highest paid DB now or something. Like, just something stupid.
He's decent. And the one that I think is really, really good is they got safety Trevon. I don't know how to say his last name, but he was a Raiders safety.
Yeah.
Marin. They signed him to Morig to a 3-year, $51 million deal and a max value of $60 million. I was hoping the Vikings would get him because I really like him.
Yeah. Well, they're doing what they need to do. They have what they need. All right. New Orleans Saints. I haven't done much besides re-signing guys. Juwan Johnson, 3-year, $30 million deal. I like him as a tight end.
Grossly overpaid, dude. Are you kidding me?
$10 million.
More money than Mike Gesicki? I don't know, but
$10 million, yeah. Jack Stoll, former Eagle, signed a 1-year deal. Cam Jordan coming back for his 15th season. Love me some Cam Jordan. And then which this one I still think is kind of name based. Chase Young is returning on a 3-year, $51 million deal. For what his production has been, I still don't think it's worth $51 million. I think it's still kind of hey, my name's Chase Young, former Ohio State edge. And then they signed Justin Reed to a 3-year, $31 million deal. First off, where the fuck do they have money? They don't have money. I don't know how the fuck they sign anything.
They do what they want to do.
Need to figure out the quarterback situation, and hopefully Chris Olave doesn't fucking die again. And they need to get a wide receiver too.
R.I.P. Chris Olave.
Yeah.
Chris Olave. Tampa Bay Buccaneers re-sign Christopher Godwin to a 3-year, $66 million deal, $44 million guaranteed. I love Chris Godwin. I really do.
I love this re-signing too.
This team has to have such good just vibes around it because all these players that they keep re-signing, the key players, like there has to be something. They're doing something right in Tampa because Mike Evans, who said he wanted out, stays. Chris Godwin, who could have gotten money, even with hurt, would have gotten decent contracts.
Oh, yeah.
He's there for $22 million a year. I feel like he could probably have gotten a little more.
Could have been a wide receiver 1 on some teams.
Yeah, compared to a 2. Sterling Shepard signs a 1-year deal with them. Good for Sterling Shepard. They re-sign Ben Bredesen, offensive guard, to a 3-year, $22 million deal. They sign Anthony Nelson, edge, to a 2-year, $10 million deal. Hassan Reddick to a 1-year, $14 million deal. Will Hassan Reddick play? Probably not.
Yes, because he actually signed with them. He's not getting traded.
Yeah, that's fair. Levante David re-signs with them for a 1-year, $10 million deal. Good for Levante David.
The fact that he's still like him and Bobby Wagner, yeah, I think like they're both 33, 34. But fuck, dude, he had 122 tackles last year. Like, he's still, and he had more sacks than he's had in almost 10 years, 8 years, 9 years. Like, they're still playing at a pretty decent level for their age. It's fucking insane, especially at the linebacker position. Luke Kuechly fucking retired early because of playing the linebacker position, and then you got Levante David and Bobby Wagner still probably some of the best still at their position playing. It's insane.
Yeah.
CTE at its finest somehow. Maybe they missed it. I don't know, but. Riley Dixon signed a 2-year, $6 million deal. You didn't want to talk about that one with the Bucks? Is that not just?
Shut the fuck up.
All right, NFC West, Arizona Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett finds home for the 50th billion time. Signs a 2-year, $12 million deal as the backup. They re-signed Zay Jones. Some re-signing of offensive line for him. Kevin Beckham to a 1-year contract, and then 2 years, $11 million for Evan Brown. Re-signed Baron Browning to a 2-year, $15 million deal. Josh Sweat is getting paid, and this is again not something the Eagles were going to fucking pay him. 4 years, $76.4 million. Good luck. D-line Dalvin Tomlinson signs a 2-year, $29 million deal.
Former Minnesota Vikings Dalvin Tomlinson.
Very good signing. Josh Sweat, fuck it, overpaid. Again, this is why the Eagles didn't re-sign him. Still could, he's still going to have some value for him. But yeah, definitely, again, we have to think of, with that cap salary going up so much, like a year ago probably overpaid, but now it's like, is he really? Like, I don't know. It's I think it's more money than what he probably needs. Probably would have been more like a 4-year, still 4 years, I guess, is a lot, which is crazy because I feel like a lot of deals this year in specific have been a lot of like 3-year. Like, there's not been many 4-year for like the big names. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but yeah. Then their long snapper Aaron Brewer, shout out long snappers, resigns to 1-year contracts.
Skinny respects him.
Yeah, respect.
So Los Angeles Rams signed Jimmy GQ to a 1-year deal worth $4 million. They restructured Matthew Stafford to actually keep him. So that happened. Devontae Adams gets signed to a 2-year deal worth $46 million deal with $26 million guaranteed. They re-signed TT Atwell. Which the Devontae Adams deal is really good, but I don't know at this point in time who's better, Devontae Adams or Cooper Kupp. Like, to me, I just feel like if they would have got like a DK Metcalf, which they would have never got traded because it's interdivisional, but like someone that like a T. Higgins, someone that's gonna have youth, like Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp are pretty damn similar. They're both route running wide receivers.
Don't want to pay a 31-year-old wide receiver to go and pay a 31-year-old wide receiver, which is crazy to think. This is one thing to think about too. Like, I was kind of thinking about this when this deal happened. Devontae Adams is only 2 years older than me. Does not, like, in the world of sports, it's so crazy to think about that Devontae Adams is only 2 years older than
2 years older than you.
It's like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
It's weird to me. Like, you look at some of these guys are like, wow, you're like grown, like you're old and like have done, I don't know, like you think that they're like fucking 40 by this point, but he's only 2 years older than me. So fucking weird. I don't know. It's weird to me.
Aldrich Jackson, offensive tackle, re-signs with a 3-year, $57 million deal that includes $35 million.
That's a good signing. I like him.
And then Coleman Shelton signs a 2-year, $12 million deal.
Dude, defensive line, Puda Ford, 3-year, $29 million, dude.
Oh, Puda Ford.
Dude, Puda Ford, bro. You didn't see
He's
it.
a big Puda Ford
Well, maybe
guy.
if you fucking got PC, you could have it all, and you could see all that, not on your little fucking tablet screen or whatever.
I can see it all. I can see it all, Skinny. What can you see?
Former Seattle Seahawks Puda Ford, dude. Fucking. All right. The 49ers. First off, the 49ers have let a lot of shit go. Their time for a championship is done.
It is gone.
Gone.
Yeah, it is gone.
They have let way too much go. They signed Mac Jones to a 2-year, $7 million deal. Whatever. They release and then re-sign Kyle Juszczyk to a 2-year, $8 million deal. What the fuck? I get you like him, you use him, but what the fuck? That is too much money for a fullback. Patrick McCarr is making what, less than $2 million or just under $3 million a year. Like,
they just don't make sense with what they do.
Yeah, you use him, but you don't use him enough to be worth it. Doesn't make any sense. They signed Demarcus Robinson to a 2-year deal with $9 million, whatever. Like, and then like what they have to fill in for what they got rid of. Luke Gifford signs a 1-year deal, not replacing Greenlaw. Richie Grant signs a 1-year, $1.5 million, and Jason Pinnock signs a 1-year, 2 deal. Like, that's not gonna replace Tanafaga or whatever I can't think of how to say his last name.
They're gonna need a really, really good. Really good
based off.
Or draft.
Just looking at the teams right now, would not shock me if the 49ers are the last place in the division next year.
I agree.
Wouldn't shock me.
I agree. And last, but certainly not least, Skinny, is the Seattle Seahawks. They sign Sam Darnold to a 3-year, $105 million deal with $55 million guaranteed. Holy shit, Sam Darnold. He got the bag. He got his $30 million a year contract. Now, granted, half of his contract's guaranteed, basically, but don't love it. Don't love it at all. But I mean, I kind of like that Sam Darnold's on there because I have JSN and I have JSN in the Dynasty League. Like, I like JSN. I think that Sam Darnold can get the ball to people, but I just don't like. That's a lot of money. But what could they do? They had to sign someone. They had to get
basically the exact same contract as Baker Mayfield.
And he's not Baker Mayfield. He's not Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is a legitimate starting quarterback. Baker Mayfield, to me, is so on the fringe of top 10.
He's making $0.5 million more and $5 million more guaranteed. Baker Mayfield, he's getting a Baker Mayfield contract after both Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold both had a year to earn a contract, but I don't give a shit. Sam Darnold did not earn a 3-year, $100 million contract with 50. This is a terrible contract, and they're going to regret it.
Yeah. So they re-signed DK Metcalf with basically, or without getting rid of DK Metcalf. They take Cooper Kupp to a 3-year, $45 million deal. I like this contract. I think this is a good signing. I think that this is smart, and like, you're giving someone that is an aging wide receiver who could help JSN kind of evolve and is still a decent target. I don't hate this.
My biggest issue with it is both of them are slot receivers.
They are, but Cooper Kupp's gonna have to play outside.
Yeah, that's the only.
JSN right now, to me, is a better wide receiver than Cooper Kupp is.
That's the only issue I have is they're both slot receivers, and now
they're gonna go 4 wide, dude.
Cooper can play the outside. I'm not saying Cooper can't do that, but they both are a slot short distance. Like, that's where they thrive at. So it'll be interesting to see how that offense works with Cooper Kupp. It's got to be a mixture. You can't have one line up on the outside, but that's slot time to see who gets the dominance in the slot and things like that, because they both thrive in that position.
Yeah. They also signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling to a 1-year deal. He just keeps finding contracts somewhere. He's
Yeah.
just the guy that is going to run for 100 air yards and have 15 catches for 300 yards. I don't know. That's how he is. Um, I hate the Lawrence signing me. 3 years, $42 million deal, $18 million guarantee. The guarantee's fine, but $42 million deal, like, ugh, it just seems like someone that's on the end of his career. And he had a lot of money from the Cowboys, and I just don't think he produced for his contract, the last contract he had.
That's
So
what
it's like
happens when you play the Eagles twice a year.
they
Get
also re-signed Jerron Reed to a 3-year, $25 million deal.
I like that.
And yeah, defensive lineman. I mean, their defense has been kind of scrappy too. And they also re-signed Ernest Jones to a 3-year, $33 million deal with $15 million guarantee. And that is the end of it all.
Based off of current teams, I've already discussed. I think the Bears and the Vikings have probably been the better two free agencies. What have been your maybe 2, 3 favorite free agencies so far for teams? You can say the same as me. It's fine.
Obviously, Minnesota has done an outstanding job. I think the Commanders have really kicked it in gear and put a lot of weapons in Jane Daniels, giving him a lot of weapons and offensive line help and stuff like that. Trying to think who else. I don't hate the Steelers signings. I think the Steelers had a lot of good signings. If they get Aaron Rodgers, holy shit, the team's going to be scary. But it's quarterback dependent. You know what I mean? The defense and paper improved. The offense should improve. I like Jalen Warren. I like Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, I feel like it should improve. The Bears just having what's his face? What's Brian Johnson, their head coach, the offensive coordinator from the Lions, like him being there with all the signings they have. The Bears could be a force to reckon with next year, and that scares me.
Yeah.
I think the Lions are on the decline, and the Packers are going to be solid, but I just don't. They might be on the decline too. But, I mean, a lot of teams got better on paper, that's for sure. We'll see. Next. Go ahead.
I know it's not a lot, but I'm actually really fond of the Rams. You re-sign Stafford, you get Devontae, you re-sign, the Rams were sneaky last year. Nobody expected them.
Okay, question for you. Who's number one, Puka or Devontae right now?
Fuck.
You don't want to answer that.
No, I don't. I think Devontae still. I think Devontae is still a top 10 wide receiver. I think Devontae right now is still better than Puka as an overall receiver.
You think Devontae's an upgrade over Cooper Kupp?
In terms of ability, because okay, let's look at it. They both can play close in the slot. They can run the drags. They can run the slants. The difference factor for me is Devontae is a way better outside receiver.
Devontae's also a really good red zone wide receiver too.
He's
really good.
People don't realize. Yeah, Devontae's had a little drop off on his numbers from playing with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Not really because of his age. It's because of his stupidity and deciding, hey, I want to go play with Derek Carr, which. Whatever.
No, the Derek Carr year was good. It was
but then you got Aiden O'Connell. Then you get traded and think then it just didn't Aaron Rodgers was playing like shit last. Devontae Adams is still a top 10 wide receiver, and I don't care what anybody says. He is. It's just ridiculous what he can do that other players can't at that level.
I mean, he still went over 1,000 yards last year. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's a drop off for him. It wasn't anything.
2020,
and I think the other one too is Puka thrives in the slot, so it works perfect. Puka's a Larry Fitzgerald, maybe not going to be as Larry Fitzgerald-esque in a career, but like Larry Fitzgerald in the slot was fucking phenomenal. Bigger body, catches everything, target him. Again, Larry Fitzgerald, if Larry Fitzgerald played slot his whole career compared to when he would have when he was younger, Larry Fitzgerald arguably could have been a top 3 wide receiver, but he played the outside for most of his career. While Puka has played the slot basically from his get-go, like he plays the outside, but like that slot, close range stuff, Puka's thrived at from the beginning. And then you throw Devontae Adams on the outside, you're in for it. Devontae, I think, is the number one. With age, I feel like you kind of want Puka. They're both gonna. It's just like how they were with Cup. They're both gonna get 12 targets a game, if not more. Like depending on the situation. I think Devontae Adams is better than Cooper Kupp.
I have another question for you.
Okay.
After this offseason, how do you feel about your dynasty team? Do you feel like just free agency? Do you feel like it got better? It got worse?
Which one are we looking at?
I would say
the 12 our league the 2 drunk guys.
12 drunk guys.
Let me pull it up because I have no fucking idea.
I don't feel like yours has been that effective. Sam Darnold. I mean, you got Sam Darnold.
My team. I don't think anything's really changed. I got Baker Mayfield, Josh Jacobs, Bijan, Jameson Williams, Garrett Wilson. I think is probably about the same, pretty much as what he did last year. Maybe a little bit of an upgrade.
Why didn't you just let me take George Pickens off?
The one thing though is during this episode, 49ers are trading Jordan Mason to the Minnesota Vikings, and then the Vikings are signing Mason to a 2-year deal over $7 million. So that worries me a little bit for Aaron Jones.
What?
Because Jordan Mason is
fuck. Why would we?
Pretty good running back.
Good. That's good, but I don't. Dude, I wanted a rookie running back. Now I got to go get Jordan Mason.
Najee. I think it's good for Najee because Najee is gonna fucking thrive on the Chargers. Malachi Corley, I guess, might bump up because they haven't fucking signed any wide receiver. Hollywood Brown, because we don't know. George Pickens, depending on his quarterback. Yeah, I mean.
So question do I trade George Mason for a 3rd round pick? You think I could get a 3rd round pick from my cousin?
I don't know what you do with him.
You think that's too much?
Probably. All right, and then lastly, we're just going to go over some free agents that are still available, maybe even predict where they go. Stephon Diggs, still a free agent. Does he go to the Cowboys like everybody says and joins his brother?
I hope he does. Dude. Because I have Stephon Diggs, a healthy Dak Prescott, Stephon Diggs, and I would love that.
And CeeDee Lamb. Oof.
Yeah, I'd love that. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I could see him going there. Amari Cooper, still available.
Don't love it. Don't. Mark Cooper's on the last end.
Yeah,
If you can't produce with Josh Allen, you're done.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking that he didn't really do much. What team do you think he gets signed by if he does?
He'll probably be like a contender. Like I could see like a random team like. I just feel like he'll be like a Chief or someone like that. One of those teams where it's like, hey, Amari Cooper's now going to sign a sweetheart deal with the Detroit Lions. You know what I mean? Like I just don't see him at this point in time. Like he went to the Bills.
He's not going to be wide receiver 1 anywhere he goes.
No,
yeah.
He'll probably be a 2 or 3, maybe. We'll see though. I could see him going to Dallas too.
All right, Aaron Rodgers.
I feel like there's a chance he could be a Minnesota Viking, depending on what they see. People think like that'd be a bad thing for JJ McCarthy. I don't think it will. I mean, Aaron Rodgers all-time great. That's a great bridge quarterback. Terrible leader, but like, if you're not fully set on JJ, Rodgers wants to go to Minnesota. There's a lot of talks about it. If he doesn't go to Minnesota, the only other team that he should go to is the Pittsburgh Steelers. If he goes to the Giants, he's high.
I thought he was going to be a Steeler when he signed with the Jets. So I'm gonna keep with the Steelers. I think that's where he needs to go. I think that's where he should have went
Yeah.
years ago.
I wanted to get there too, yeah, because Deontay Johnson still be there, and
Yeah.
I'd be fucking happy because I love Deontay Johnson, but now he's still a free agent too, probably.
All right. Cam Robinson, tackle, former Viking, Jaguar.
Probably a offensive needy team. He could probably be a fringe starter, maybe a backup somewhere.
I think.
I heard the Texans need a
Yeah,
tackle.
yeah. I was gonna say. I think he goes. I
Yeah.
think the Texans might be calling him up after trading Laremy Tunsil. Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, at this point in his career, I think Caleb Williams sucked ass last year, and I think Keenan Allen still has. I mean, he's 2 years away from having his career year he had a couple years ago.
And he had a phenomenal year last year with Caleb Williams. Even
I could see him going somewhere that, like, if Stephon Diggs doesn't go to the Cowboys, I could see him fitting in there pretty well. He can play in the slot. He can do some things. He's kind of expensive. I don't think he's as good as Stephon Diggs is right now. I have him on my fantasy team though, but I could see him going somewhere that needs an extra target. He wouldn't be bad. Like, what if Stephon Diggs goes to the Packers? What if Keenan Allen goes to the Packers? A team that kind of needs that number one or number two wide receiver, depending on how big you are on Jalen Reed. So there are needy teams that could have that. So
you think like a Packers? You think the Packers?
yeah, I think Packers might not be bad.
I think he ends up in that Chargers position. Older, wants to go to a contending team. I guess the Packers make sense, but do you want to play in the cold or do you want to play in the dome? I guess it's also, do these teams want you in anyway and what you're worth, but
Yeah.
I think they get a little bit too wide receiver needy and Keenan Allen ends up there. Russell Wilson.
I've seen the Browns. I don't know. The Browns are so weird. Obviously, what's his face isn't playing next year.
Russell Wilson doesn't need to make a bunch of money either. So, like,
No.
you can sign him for super cheap still.
I could see the Browns. I could see the Steelers re-signing him if they don't get on the Aaron Rodgers bandwagon. I also could probably see the Giants. That's about the only place he's going to start, man. Unless the really honestly think about this though, the Titans could sign him and then sign Carter or someone else, number one overall, or trade back. You know what I mean? Trade that number one back and have a fuck ton of picks.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Talk? Nope. Okay, now I can hear you.
You can hear me now, boy?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I was saying with Russ, he can kind of go wherever he wants. But sorry, I was talking about the Titans. The Titans could. They still have what's his face, Mayo boy. I can't think of his name right now.
Will Levis.
Will Levis, and you get Russell Wilson to kind of come in there and kind of mentor him and stuff like that. They could trade back. They could take Abdul Carter. They could, they could do a lot of things with that. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But I feel like he'll be a Giant probably.
Russ a Viking. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I think he'll end up. I just don't see the Titans signing him as much as it would make sense. Go get the best guy in the draft overall, sign a quarterback, and then do that. I just don't see them doing that. They're gonna go young. Yeah, the Giants just make the sense. And again, it's one of those the Giants are one of those attractive places for a quarterback right now. You got young. young Malik Neighbors, who is a fucking stud. Tyrone Tracy Jr. Their defense isn't half bad. You. They also still have that Jalen Hyatt, I guess. Like,
Does Russ make you feel better about what they had last year with Malik Neighbors? And does Russ give you better feelings about Malik Neighbors with Russ, or do you feel like it's like a downgrade? How do you feel?
I
about
think it's
Russ
an upgrade for what they had.
I think it's an upgrade.
Because you never
Russ
knew.
is just blah to me.
But
Blah.
just with what the quarterback situation was, where it just was like a cycle. You never knew who the quarterback was going to be, and yeah. I'd rather know that, okay, Russ is going to come in every week, and the focal point is give Malik Neighbors the ball. Like, that's the big point. I just didn't trust Tommy DeVito doing that every week. I'd probably trust Russ a little bit more. Okay, a couple more. J.K. Dobbins. This is a good one. Like,
what's a running back? I mean, honestly, Browns right now. Nick Chubb hasn't resigned.
Nick Chubb is
like that's a run heavy team.
Nick Chubb was gonna be my next one. So I mean, we can talk about both of them.
Yeah. So I would say the Browns are one that comes straight off the dome. I could see him being a decent Bear, to be honest, because I think you could have a Thunder and Lightning thing if you're not going to take a running back in the draft.
Do you think he goes to a team that he would be like the Broncos don't have a starting running back? Does he
Broncos be another good one.
Does he go and actually start, or do you think he gets with a team like Nick Chubb going to the Broncos actually starting and like kind of clear cuts his way to the starter, or do you think J.K. Dobbins is more of like a needs that 2-back role at this point?
I feel like he'd be better in a 2-back role because I feel like with his injury history, he doesn't need all those carries. I do feel like he'd be a good Bear. Bears look attractive to me. I think I would like him as a Browns running back, but I don't know. It's one of those guys that it's like, I could see him in a couple different places. I think him being a starter, I think he will be a starter. I think he's talented. I don't think he's never really been used that much as a receiving back. I think if you let him run his head down and do that, I think he'd be a good power back, goal line back.
Kind of shocked that like Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins haven't really gotten anything. Like J.K. didn't play bad last year. Nick Chubb came back and played decent. Like kind of shocked. And then my last one is Justin Simmons, safety. Justin Simmons.
He's another one they didn't really have a lot of not a lot of people wanted him last year either, it seemed like.
Yeah, it was weird. And
then he signed He signed a contract with the Falcons?
Yeah, I think so.
From the Broncos? I mean, what's a team that needs some DBs?
He's gonna be an Eagle. There's no way that we don't sign him. We lost CJ. We have Vic Fangio. We're gonna go and get Justin Simmons. There's no fucking way we don't.
You're probably right.
I would be shocked if we don't sign him.
Just a team that needs a DB. I mean, I like Justin Simmons. He hasn't been bad. So I don't know.
All right, let me just double check before we end the podcast, see if anything else has happened. Let me just double check. So we can.
You know what, folks? Have a very fantastic St. Patrick's Day. Whoever makes it here.
Yeah, if you make it almost to 2 hours, I'm very impressed.
Maybe Dylan Thompson and Skylar Knoll.
Yeah, there's a lot of repeating of what you've seen over the last couple of weeks, but we went over it. We discussed some of the implications to them. We got some free agency talk in there on who, guys that are still available, where we think they're going. I mean,
we'll be back before the draft. We'll probably do a quick episode before the draft.
Episode before the draft to talk about like what we kind of guess. We will be live streaming. We'll be live streaming the draft again this year, like we did last year. So we'll have to kind of start getting that pushed out here pretty soon because the draft's in like a month. So we'll have to start promoting that a little bit.
April.
So we'll be live streaming that, and then I guess you guys won't see. We'll be trying to keep up content with shorts, which I'm running out of shorts, so we gotta start.
You should have plenty of shorts now. You can pump out a 2-hour long amount of shorts.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what comes out of it. But all right, Hope you all enjoyed the episode. Follow us on X, YouTube, Spotify, Insta.
Anywhere you get your
not anywhere.
podcast
Facebook.
needs, come get us. God bless you. God bless America. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Drink
Luck of the
responsibly.
Irish.
Drink responsibly.
I'm drinking McGinnis, boy. God bless you.